just stop. Here's Ross, the host with today's dose of common sense.
Hey, how are you? How's everybody doing? I am here, and welcome back. So, I keep telling everybody that there's a lot going on, and that's why I'm not doing a regular podcast right now, and that it's kind of hit and miss. But here's an update for you. I have to go in for another heart procedure in just like 4 days. So that's been going on. I had a bunch of testing done and stuff like that, and they saw some things, and now they're going to go in and try to fix them, and we'll see how that goes. It should be okay. It's supposed to be, not a complex procedure done with a catheter through the artery. So hopefully you show up there at some ungodly time in the morning, and then you spend there, you're there all day, and then you get to go home. Hopefully that's how it works out. But that's what has been going on. And then, out of the blue, the doctor's office calls and says, "You're diabetic." And I'm like, "What?" Nobody's even said I was close to being diabetic my entire life. I don't have any idea what you're talking about. Well, you're diabetic. So suddenly I'm diabetic, which is fun. But I guess it's not severe enough for me to have to do anything special, really. I'm going to have to make some dietary changes, and they're going to have me taking a medication for it. But it's just kind of out of whack. I think we'll be able to bring that down with just some dietary changes and medicines and things like that. So it doesn't look like I'm going to have to be on any kind of an insulin pump or anything of that nature. So it's a new thing, but it seems like everything is falling apart. But hopefully they get the heart thing taken care of. That will relieve the chest pressure that I've been having ever since I had the heart attack. And they always thought it was something else, but it looks like the scans finally revealed something that they can address. So that's where everything is right now. And that's why you aren't hearing from me very regularly. But once this is all done, then maybe I won't have as many things to worry about, and I can dedicate more time to sitting down and doing this, because this is fun. I like making people mad. Yeah, making people mad is what I do. So, crazy world we're dealing with. Crazy, crazy world. And you all know all about it. I'm sure you're keeping up with all of the news. Just, I try not to anymore. I can't deal with it all anymore. Some of it is just depressing. They had the No Kings rallies yesterday. We didn't have one anywhere in my area. So if I wanted to attend one, which I wouldn't have, not that I am opposed to, not that I am for having kings. I just don't like crowds. So I'm not going to go out there and join a big rally where I get, penned in by a crowd, because I get a little claustrophobic. And so, I'm not going to volunteer to be in that kind of a situation. But there weren't any anywhere near me. So I would have had to have driven for, like a couple of hours or something. And I just wasn't willing to do that. But again, I wouldn't have gone anyway. But there's a pretty fascinating video that was released for all of the UFO folks. And I want to take you there. See if did I even set this up? I don't even know if I set up the screen share thing. Let's see. Oh, look, there you are. And it's not really. Let's see. Boom, look, there we are. Hey, there is my X page. So I posted a video on there. Let's see if I can get to it. And we have this video. Let's see if you can see that video. Let me go to screen share and window capture. Boom. Wow. I'm just really not good at this. All this high-tech stuff. And I'm grabbing the wrong thing. So let's, oh, come on. You'll just have to look up there in the corner, I guess. Let's take a look. You'll see it. It's flying right there. And it was Stephen Greenstreet who posted this, and it says the Teledyne Ryan Manta Ray. It's a drone. It was being test flown in the 1970s. And it looks so very much just like a UFO that got reported all the time back in those days. And I'm sorry, but if this is a real thing, I mean, it looks like a real video. It says it's from some kind of air museum or something like that. And it's a funny looking thing. And but it's just another situation where people are seeing things that are us, and I keep saying they're us. It's us. And I'm going to scroll down here and see if anybody posted anything. Okay. I guess this picture here is showing the actual size of the thing. That's what size it was, and that's how they launched it, I guess, with some sort of a ring like that. But anyway, that's the latest on the UFO thing, and I think that was cool. I've never seen that video footage released before. Stephen Greenstreet gets his hand on a lot of stuff, and it's a really cool resource to find some video like that. I've seen aircraft similar to that, but that one has the whole the globe thing underneath it and the thing on the top that it really matches some of the UFO sightings that I recall where people drew them out by hand. And so it looks like that's exactly what they saw because it's exactly what they drew. So interesting, and it was fun. It was good to see that. But and then I got some other news, and that was the doctor's office called me and said, "Hey, you got diabetes." So the first thing I did was I consulted with my religious advisors over at Demon Erasers, and this is what they had to say.
Demons of diabetes require blood. You must prick your finger or it will kill you.
Yeah, well, apparently my diabetes is a demon, and so I'm going to have to deal with that now. Those guys, boy, it hurts my brain to listen to them, but I do occasionally come across a really good one, and I have to go listen to it because it's comic relief. But from now on, I'm thinking about starting, whenever we get on religious topics and stuff, I know that that's sort of a niche kind of thing that a lot of people talk about, but so many of the conspiracy theorists today are mingling in religion with their conspiracy beliefs. And a lot of them are talking about, what you might call extra biblical things, things that are found in ancient texts that have nothing to do with the Bible, but they're claiming to be Christians or whatever they're claiming to be. Most of them are claiming to be Christians in one way or another, but they really get into the Gnostic texts and like the Book of Enoch and things like that, books of Enoch. And so they're mingling a lot of this stuff together and sort of a new agey kind of thing, which is the way I've kind of been talking about it is the new age. But I'm thinking about just starting a whole new podcast to cover that topic specifically religious conspiracy stuff. And I already reserved the name, and I already built the thing. I don't have any graphics or any intro or anything like that. So I'm not there yet, but I'm thinking about just doing that, just having an offshoot podcast that's specifically on those topics so that I don't muddy this whole general conspiracy theory thing with that type of stuff, because I watch that stuff and pay attention to that stuff all the time. And now all the algorithms are sending it to me all the time. And I'm seeing it all the time. And I'm out there arguing with Bible scholars on X all the time, because there's two different ways to look at ancient texts. You look at it in the critical view, or in the devotional view. And the devotional view means that you believe this is your religion. So you kind of give the texts the benefit of the doubt, and you tend to read things into them that aren't there, because you're superimposing your own beliefs over that text that does exist, but it probably doesn't say what you think it says. And it probably doesn't say what you were taught that it says in Sunday school and from behind the pulpit at church, because, well, they're just not honest about it. And they, especially in America, if anyone's listening from outside of the United States, we have this whole thing here, this whole evangelical movement here that is sola scriptura. So it's all about the Bible is the inerrant and infallible word of God, and it never contradicts itself, and all the things are interrelated, and it's univocal, speaking with one voice from beginning to end, Old Testament, New Testament, everything. And that's a thing that started in the United States. So it's a lot of the Christian communities outside of the United States don't actually even know what that is. They've never heard of it, and they don't have to deal with it because it's not part of their practice. So it's kind of a uniquely American thing. And I get this stuff all the time. The algorithms have me all directions on all of the algorithms, especially YouTube and X. But it's fun to research, and I have a stack of books that I've picked up in the last couple of months, and I haven't been able to read them yet. I've started, but I have so many that I want to read, and they're on my to be read stack, and it just keeps getting taller. So we'll see if I get to some of them, but I got some Tertullian. I've got all sorts of weird stuff. The funny thing I find about all that stuff is the early church fathers, they called them, and the early theologians and stuff. Most of them got declared heretics, got excommunicated, but people still like to quote them and stuff. Anyway, that's where things are right now. And the news is insane, of course. Using the military to go into the cities, and they're not actually fighting crime. They're just helping ICE try to deport people. So there's that. And when I say that it's not really, they aren't actually fighting crimes, because most of the activity is ICE, and they're not going into the bad neighborhoods where the crime actually is. So I don't know what the plan was, but it didn't work out very well. So they have that going on, and they are still blowing up boats out in the middle of the ocean. And again, I have to admit, I have mixed feelings about that, because I have no sympathy for drug smugglers and drug dealers. So, hey, whatever happens, happens, right? I don't know if it's legal to blow people up in the middle of the ocean in international waters instead of interdicting them and arresting them and capturing the drugs. I really don't know if just taking them out with a Hellfire missile or something is legal, but we're doing it. We've done it four or five times, I guess now, because it just happened again yesterday. They hit a submarine, but the whole Trump administration is just a constant deluge of bullshit and craziness, so that the conspiracy theorists just can't keep up, and the conspiracy researchers can't keep up. So you kind of have to pick a lane and stay in it, because you can't go, it's everywhere. They're going all over the place. But it's keeping us on our toes, that's for sure. But the Hamas, the Israel-Hamas thing, people keep celebrating that there's been a ceasefire and everything's wonderful. Well, no, it's not actually, because Israel and Hamas didn't sign this peace agreement A bunch of other countries signed this peace agreement. So it was basically us and some other countries saying, this is the peace agreement. Well, neither Hamas nor Israel signed it. So they haven't signed off on it. They haven't adopted it. So they're under no obligation to say, this is how we're going to conduct our business. And they've already started shooting each other again. Everybody knew that was going to happen. Anybody with a brain knew that was going to happen again. And apparently that happened this morning or last night, whatever. But Israel started bombing them again because the Hamas started shooting at them or something. And that's the way it's going to go. There's probably only 10% of Gaza left, I guess. They've destroyed virtually everything. Some of the aerial photographs are very dystopian. It is a dystopia for them, but it's nothing but rubble and destroyed buildings for as far as the eye can see. And so all those people that have been killed and all the refugees that it's created, it's not over yet because neither side apparently wants to agree to the peace accord that somebody else came up with. If we can get some peace going on over there, it'd be great for everybody. I'm not optimistic. So we'll see what happens with that. We have to keep our eyes open. But I wanted to hop on here and do a quickie to let everybody know that I'm sorry. I haven't done one lately. I will be doing this more once I have this heart thing out of the way and figured out. And I'm not going back and forth to doctors and hospitals and things like that. And I'm still, holding down a job and everything else. So, and I had a big tree go down during a storm today. So I'm going to have to go in the backyard and cut it up and try to dispose of this giant tree. I have a bunch of old trees and they're kind of dead. So if you get a good wind, you're afraid, you don't know how many of them are going to go down. But one of them did during a storm today. So I'll be cutting that up somehow. I don't know if my chainsaw is big enough to cut through it, but I guess we will find out. I think I'm going to wait until after the heart procedure to take care of that. So it's going to sit in the yard for a while. It's way back in the back. It's actually, if I just left it there, no one would even know except me, and it would annoy me. But I'll take care of it probably after the heart thing is done and I'm back to normal. But everyone, take care of yourselves. And, keep your eye on the news and keep your powder dry and all of those fun things. And I will be back soon and we'll talk about some more stuff and it'll be great. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Really? Just Stop with your host, Ross. Make sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so that you never miss a dose of some common sense.